right, what's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. So, little interesting video today I got for you guys. Because I'm gonna keep it real. There's really nothing going on in free agency, at least today. I'm hoping it picks up tomorrow. A few stories here and there, but nothing really picking up. And as the day is winding down, I don't think anything's gonna pick up for at least today. So I want to talk about this whole Dak Prescott situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be careful with my words for anybody who's wondering how I'm going to, talk about this. But Dak Prescott's been accused of doing a very naughty thing, I'll say. Doing a very naughty thing. As you can look on the screen, you know what he's been accused of. And the person that's accusing him of this said it happened 7 years ago. 7 years ago. So, and obviously Dak Prescott now has come out and said that he's, I believe, suing the woman over and basically saying the woman's lying, trying to get money from him and trying to smear his name, as most women do on these cases. But looking at the surface of this, obviously, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't believe it. It's 7 years ago. I'm sorry. Listen, for anybody who knows me, just follow my channel. And as I'm about to talk about it, if something happens to you as a woman or even as a man, but specifically a woman, you go right to the police, quick, fast, in a hurry. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about, I was scared. No. You go to the police immediately. And you especially don't wait 7 years. So I believe that Prescott's innocent. But I feel like there's a bigger picture here. Now, as we all know, Dak Prescott's due for a contract soon, and he's due to get $60 million. He's due to get $60 million if they extend him on the quarterback market. And maybe the Cowboys, after this playoff run, and maybe the Cowboys after the last few years, have been saying, we really don't want to pay him. And I find it kind of ironic that Dak Prescott, in his last year of his contract, I believe, all this stuff comes out. And you know what this reminds me of? You know what this kind of reminds me of? Mr. Deshaun Watson. Now, granted, it is a different situation. I don't believe any more women will come out against Dak. Hopefully not. And Deshaun was trying to get traded. Meanwhile, Dak is offering a new contract. But just follow me here. The best way for the Cowboys to get rid of Dak Prescott is to have this lawsuit or to have this linger out, especially if they take the woman's side, or if they if the woman goes through with the lawsuit. I don't know. I don't care. Dak has been filed for a civil lawsuit that accused him of blank. You can see it on the screen, and demanding $100 million in exchange for reporting an alleged police report for an extortion plot. Basically saying that, it happened 7 years ago, and she hit up Dak saying, listen, I know you did it, but if you give me $100 million, I'll get over it. That is a bunch of BS. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. But what if this is the Cowboys? And I know I'm going conspiracy theory. Anybody who's watched my channel, anybody who's new to the channel, first of all, subscribe and like the comment. Like the video, and then comment. But anybody who has been following my channel knows I like to think three-dimensional. I like to think outside the box. What if the Cowboys dug this up, knew about this, dug this up, and this happened, 7 years ago? Ironically, around when Dak got drafted, 2016, 2017-ish. Maybe a year before that. I don't know. A year after that. I don't know. Maybe they drug this up, and they're taking out their back pocket saying, listen, Dak is not all his worth. He's a good quarterback. He'll get us to the playoffs. And maybe the Cowboys fear that maybe if Dak's playing on his last year of his contract, somehow, some way, especially with, and I'm going to be doing a video on this, especially with, the 49ers, I believe, who's going to take a decline this year. Maybe the Cowboys can go to the NFC Championship game and they'll be forced to pay Dak $60 million or how much more they're going to have to pay him. And maybe they're digging this up out of his closet to, say, okay, we have we have an out plan on Dak Prescott, especially if this drags out. Now, Dak is obviously suing women over alleged, obviously for an extortion plan, because let's be for real, we all know it's BS. Come on, 7 years, 7 years you're gonna wait, and $100 million. Listen, for anybody who knows women who were, victimized like that, it doesn't take any, like, the money and the pain you see in their face. I mean, not the money, the suffering and the pain that you see in their face. There's no amount of money that can, cover that. Cover that. But $100 million, especially when he's about to get a big contract, I'm sorry. Someone has to say it. This is really smelling Deshaun Watson-ish. Not maybe in the same scenario as in like Deshaun, he was trying to demand a trade and Dak's trying to get money, but kind of like, maybe the owners, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, whoever, drugged this out of his closet, paid the woman already, and said, listen, come out and, start stuff with Dak. So maybe we can get him on the low, or maybe we can cut him and get a new quarterback. You never know. You never know, because, I mean, we all know the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs next year. We all know that they're going to win the NFC East, or either them or the Eagles are going to win the NFC East. And at worst, the Cowboys are a wild card team. We all know they're going to sweep the Giants, split with the Eagles, and maybe even sweep the Washington Commanders. So what is that? Two wins against my Giants, 1 win against the Eagles, and then sweep the Commanders. So that's 5 wins right there. So they need to conjure up 4 or 5 more wins to make a wild card in the NFC. And maybe the Cowboys fear that, maybe they don't want to pay Dak. They don't believe he's the guy. Maybe they're slowly but surely trying to get off of him. And maybe this is a good way for them to cover their tracks and Deshaun Watson. Because I'm gonna keep it real with you. I obviously I have my opinions about Deshaun. I'm not gonna blatantly say them, but obviously I think Deshaun. I think I can say this. I think Deshaun's innocent. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I believe the Texans, did some, chicanery or shenanigans, as I should say. But does anybody really hold the Texans accountable? Does anybody say, well, the Texans knew about it. The Texans did this. The Texans did that. And the woman came out and sued the Texans too. And no one talks about it. Everybody talks about Deshaun. Everybody talks about Deshaun. The only thing we're talking about the Texans is that C.J. Stroud's amazing, D'Amico Ryans is amazing, and that they got Joe Mixon yesterday. And how they're going to do in the playoffs. No one's talking about that. But when you bring up Deshaun, you bring up Cleveland, you bring up those silver suits. You know why? Because the player's always the face. And as the Cowboys, even if they're caught up in something or they look bad in this, everybody's going to forget, because number one, it's the Cowboys. If they'll forget about it with the Houston Texans, they're definitely going to forget about it with the Yankees and the Lakers of the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. And number two, it's Dak Prescott. He's the face of it. Unfortunately, he's the face of it. Do I believe he's innocent? Absolutely, 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But you can't deny. I mean, someone has to say it. Like, I find it very, very convenient that this is happening in Dak's last year, where he wants to get paid, in a year where, I mean, we know the Cowboys ain't gonna do nothing, but we all know they're gonna go to the playoffs. And I mean, the NFC is still wide open, so maybe they can luck up and go to a conference championship. God forbid they go to a Super Bowl. And if Dak goes to a conference championship, which the Cowboys haven't been there, 30 plus years, and God really forbid, man. God really forgive or forbid that they go to a Super Bowl. You really have to pay Dak. Probably not even 60, probably 70 to 80 million a year, at least a year. So I mean, maybe the Cowboys dug up this little secret on Dak, and Dak's gonna have to figure out a way out of it. But that's my thoughts, man. What are yours? What's your thoughts on this video, and what's your thoughts on it? I mean, this video is kind of like, nothing's happening in free agency. Hopefully it picks up tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And, this is an interesting story. And honestly, I'm going to keep it real with you. I hope more details come out this week, because I'm sure me and my co-host CEO will probably be talking about this Sunday on the Young Filter Sports Podcast. As you see on the ticker, make sure to subscribe and tune in, peasants. But RJ out.